Beautiful Tunisia. What's up, fellow citizens of the world? Jordan Patrick here, and welcome to my channel. So it's officially my last day in Tunisia, and I have a lot of things to say, good and bad. So let's get started. On y va, c'est parti! Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. The good things. I'll start with the good because I want to start this video on a positive note, and then I will end the video with the bad things that I don't really like. So if you want to skip to those, skip towards the end. But let's start with the good things. So I'm going to start off by saying that this is a beautiful country. I'm staying in Sidi Bou Saïd, which is pretty close to the capital, Tunis. And I couldn't have asked for a better location. I have a lot of Tunisian friends in Paris, and so I was kind of inspired by them to come visit their beautiful country. But they recommended me not to stay in Tunis. They said stay in Sidi Bou Saïd because it is beautiful, you're next to the water, and there's a lot of things to do. Because originally I was going to stay in Tunis, but they told me at nights it can be a little bit sketchy, a little bit dangerous, and it's better to stay in this more touristic, nicer part of town. Another option would have been Harissa, which is just also a beach town not too far from here. So these are like the two places that I recommend if you're going to be visiting Tunisia and Tunis in particular. Then I definitely recommend staying in Sidi Bou Saïd or Harissa and not staying in downtown Tunis. The hotel that I originally booked in Tunis costed maybe a little bit less than what I'm paying now, but I'll show you my place now because that's like number 2 on my list is the accommodation. It's totally affordable and you can get a big apartment for not that expensive. I've been staying here for 1 week, 2-bedroom. I don't need all this space, but I was hoping that some friends of mine in Paris would be available to come and visit with me. But it's a holiday week in France, so it's normal that everyone already kind of had other plans in mind. But yeah, I'll give you a little tour. Okay, so right when you enter, there's a bedroom over here on this wing. I have my little like wardrobe there. And this is kind of like the living room space. And then you have like the main bedroom. This is where I've been staying. And that's where I'm doing the video. You come down to this side, you have the bathroom. And then you have the big kitchen. But there you have it. So as you can see, I have a pretty big place and it's all to myself. Definitely didn't need this much space for one person. So my total for the week ended up costing around 240 euros, which comes out to be about 40 euros a night. So definitely if I had 1 or 2 other friends that were staying here as well with me, then we'd only be paying each like 15 to 20 euros. So I think that this bang for the buck definitely got it. So another positive takeaway that I have from my time here in Tunisia is the food. Oh my gosh, I ate so much and I can't get enough of it that I'm definitely going to include some of these in my potentially daily routine in France. My favorite by far thing that I ate while being here was the Fricassé. It's this, I don't even know how to explain it. So basically it's kind of like this fried pastry bun that they then stuff with some cream, they put some hot sauce, which is typical to Tunisia, and then you have some tuna and you have some olives. And that's basically it. It's like this simple thing that you can easily take away. It's only 1 dinar, like it's very, very cheap. So basically, since I'm bringing up the Tunisian dinar, just to know, like 1 euro equals about 3 dinar. So it's pretty nice, the conversion, because it's only, you divide it by 3 to know how much you're paying in euros. Very delicious, yum, yum, yum. I started doing at home, I would make my version of them. So I'd basically be making like a sandwich, but with all the ingredients inside. And then I kind of toast it a little bit and so good. Like I ate that probably 5 times during my week here. So yeah, highly recommend trying that one. If you like more of like a little sweet tooth, that's also somewhat of a snack. Bambalouni, quelque chose comme ça. Also very good. It's almost like a little donut, like a puff pastry that has some sugar on the outside. Very sweet. It's a good little takeaway snack for the road. One of my Tunisian friends taught me that not every meal is going to be like a plate that you go to a restaurant to have. The Tunisian food includes a lot of their version of fast food, which is just kind of takeaway things. I had that multiple times this week and they were all very delicious. It includes meat, vegetables, maybe some cheese, and of course that magnificent sauce. Oh, I have some here actually. So I'm bringing this back with me to France because I love it so much, even though I'm pretty sure I can get this in a grocery store in France. The next positive points are the beaches. The beaches are beautiful, the water is clear, and it is blue, turquoise, teal, all of the above, like 50 shades of blue. So great. I spent some days at the beach and also in the evening. So you definitely have to check out the beaches in Sidi Bou Saïd. And then you have Harissa beach, which is much bigger, and you have volleyball and some cool activities and fun things to do there. Also some rooftop bars if you're into that. Very close to here, it's called Amical Beach. I'll put the name on the screen so you can look it up. It is about a 10-minute walk from where I'm staying. And it's very calm. There's not a lot of people. As a tourist, and since I'm traveling alone, I like to go to more secluded areas where I don't have to worry about people pickpocketing or stealing my stuff. So Amical Beach was, for me, kind of perfect for that. So yeah, definitely the beaches are something beautiful and you have to check them out. Okay, so another thing on my list is the weather. The weather has been really nice. But since I'm here during the springtime, like during the day, it's absolutely beautiful, really nice weather, kind of windy, but it's nice. I can be in a t-shirt and shorts. However, at night, it gets pretty nippy. So one of these days when I went to Médina, during the day, I was wearing a t-shirt and jeans, but then I stayed during the evening to go to like a little rooftop, have some tea, and I was pretty much freezing my tits off. I saw that the weather was gonna be good, but I didn't realize at night it gets windy and cold. So that's something to prepare for. So definitely bring with you a nice little jacket or something to keep you warm. I highly recommend that because that's something I did not do and I wish I did. So another point, I talked a lot about Sidi Bou Saïd and Harissa being like the two nicest places to stay in and to set up base. But Médina is something you definitely have to visit. It's very cultural and historical in the culture here. So the culture itself is very beautiful. It's a Muslim culture, so you definitely have more conservative people. But the culture in general is much more liberal than other Northern African countries. I've been to Morocco and that was a great experience, but it was less Europeanized than Tunisia is. Tunisia is much more open-minded about having drinks and alcohol in general, so it's pretty easy to go to bars or to restaurants if it's in certain parts of town, where I didn't really see that as much in Morocco, but I didn't even try to do that because I knew that it wasn't as much in the open culture, at least on that level. And so here in Tunisia, I've gone out multiple times with friends, we've gone to bars and we've had drinks. Also open-mindedness when it comes to people's sexuality. Like, yeah, you're not gonna see two guys holding hands in the streets or two girls kissing in a party. You won't see that. But it's more accepted, the fact that they acknowledge that there are gay people in the world. And coming from a country like France and the US, I don't even think about that. It's part of the culture. It's totally accepted in general. And here it's at least acknowledged that, people are gay and there are gay people. And in Morocco, I didn't have that same sentiment that it was something that people even acknowledged at all. So yeah, that's definitely a positive thing that I've taken away from my time here in Tunisia. A great positive thing about the Tunisian people are that they are all super friendly, very nice, welcoming, and they've been great hosts of me here. Earlier I said that I've gone out and had drinks with people or friends, but it's people that I met when being here. People have been pretty warm and accepting that, a tourist is here and they want to give them a good time. So they're taking them out. They say, oh, let's go here, let's go here. What are you looking for? What kind of vibe? I'm happy to show you. I want to, give you a good Tunisian experience. And that has been probably one of the best things about this trip so far. And it's the same way with my Tunisian friends in Paris. Like, they're all so welcoming, so nice and friendly, and they've all been great people to hang out with. So they're some of my best friends in France even. So yeah, definitely the people of Tunisia have made this a great experience for me. Although that's not true for everyone, so stay tuned for the bad things to come soon, because yeah, I didn't have the best experience with some of the people here. Another positive thing that I didn't talk about was the language. They speak very good French and very good English. Not everyone, but for the most part, like I can communicate with them because I speak both French and English. For me, it was not a problem to communicate with people. So that's been really nice. And for the last good final point, I'm gonna say that people here are also very fier. They're proud of their country. So that's why they want to show you the best of Tunisia, because they love their country, as one should. You know, like someone should be proud of where they're from, whether it's their culture, whether it's their paysage, like the beauty of their country. So I really appreciate that, and I like seeing people that are proud of where they're from. And now for the bad things. You know, this is kind of sensitive to talk about, but my friends in Paris that are Tunisian and all the people that I met here, they always told me to pay attention to my belongings, which is something I normally do in Paris anyways, but they gave me like this impression that people are gonna try to steal from you. That's not a very comfortable feeling to have when all your friends are telling you like, oh, be careful, pay attention, like always, you know, beware. I mean, the idea of security is something that's very, very important for anyone to have, you know, like you always want to feel secure, you always want to feel safe, but the way that people talked made me very nervous, and it made me insecure about, you know, kind of talking to strangers or just being alone in certain areas. Like that's why I tried to make friends right away and to meet people that could then kind of show me around and stuff, because, you know, I didn't want to be doing everything on my own, just worrying about my belongings and my safety and stuff like that. So I will say that that's probably like the worst part about the experience, is always being like worried about your wallet, or you know, keeping too much cash on you. Like that's something that I've had to adjust while being here. Like I'm always watching out for my things, and it's been a long time that nothing's been pickpocketed from me and stuff like that, but here I've been like extra precautious, which is something that you should always be, but the thing that it's always on the back of your mind is not the best feeling to have. So that's probably the worst thing that I've experienced here, leading to the next point, which is some people are not the nicest or the most honest. So, okay, some bad experiences that I've had with certain people. I have been gypped a little bit, like I went to the supermarket and I bought some things. The coins and the currency, I'm not super familiar with it yet, so I noticed later, like after I got my change back, I noticed that I was gypped like 2 or 3 dinar, which is not a huge amount, but at the same time, it's like they know that I'm not from here, you know, kind of on my fault that I didn't check on the spot if I got back all my change. And the second time, I noticed like, okay, I was missing a dinar, so I said like, il me manque un dinar, et puis il m'a donné, il a dit, désolé, et puis, donc it's something that you have to just keep an eye out for, because they might try to, you know, give you back less change, knowing that you don't really know the currency very well. And so keep an eye out for that. It might happen to you. You know, I did have some bad experiences with some people here, and that happened my first night. So it kind of left my trip on kind of a negative note. It started off a little bit sour because I met some people and we went out to a club. They told me like, yeah, there's this really nice club that was recommended to me by one of my friends in Paris. So I said, oh yeah, you're going there? Like my friend told me about that. So yeah, I definitely want to go. So I went with them, and afterwards they asked if they could stay at my place because they knew I was staying in a big place. I said like, you know, I'm not that comfortable with that, but you know, they'd been drinking, they didn't want to drive home, and I do not want anyone who's been drinking to ever get behind the wheel and drive anywhere. So I said, oh, no, I prefer that you stay here, sleep, and then you leave in the morning whenever you're ready and you're sober. Sure enough, when I woke up, they were gone and they had stolen some of my money. This was something that has never really happened to me before, to where, you know, someone stole something from my home and basically in front of me. About 150 dinar was stolen, which is about 50 euros. So that's a big portion, like that can last me for a couple days here. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is a horrible way to start my trip. I trusted that, you know, they're going to respect me and my belongings. You know, if you just ask me for 10 dinar for the taxi or something, totally fine by me, but a horrible first impression. But since then, it's just been getting better and better. I've met much better, nicer, cooler people that have really shown me a great time. My friend told me also about taxis. Always make sure that they're not like just clicking a button to raise the price. He said it shouldn't be more than 8 dinar to go from one part of the city to another part. Very cheap to use a taxi. That's going to lead me to my next point, which is about the transport. The public transportation is not a huge thing here. You have one train that I took to go from Sidi Bou Saïd to Tunis. The ticket only costs about 800 cents, which comes out to be less than €1, so very cheap, easy to use. But like everyone told me to like watch your things on it because there might be some people trying to steal from you, which goes back to my security. So it's just not very developed as I'm used to in Paris and pretty much all of Europe. And other than that, everyone is taking a taxi. If you don't have a car, you take a taxi. Bolt is another huge thing that they use here. It's a form of taxi. It's kind of like an Uber, but if you're not very comfortable getting in a taxi without knowing how much it's going to cost, I recommend using Bolt. It'll be a couple extra dinar, but at least you know what you're paying. So as a foreigner, that definitely helps out a lot. Okay, so just like a little recap so far, there's just the security, that's a negative point, and the public transportation. Another bad point is paying in cash. Like you don't have the option of using card very much. So you always kind of have to have cash on you. So right when I arrived, I brought euros with me and then I exchanged them into dinar. That's something that I'm not used to doing a lot. I don't pay a lot in cash in France or Europe or the US or a lot of times when I travel, except when I'm in Northern Africa. It's a little frustrating sometimes, but that's just a part of the culture and it's not really like a negative thing. It's just something that I'm not used to. So for me, it's somewhat of a negative point. So overall, I really enjoyed my trip here. I'm excited to get back to Paris, but I definitely hope to visit Tunisia again with one of my Tunisian friends in Paris. So thank you for watching, and I hope that this video has helped you for a future trip that you plan on going to Tunisia. I hope these good things and bad things to look out for have been very helpful to you. I recommend staying in Sidi Bou Saïd, absolutely gorgeous, and really enjoy your experience if you do come. So if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I make a lot of videos on culture, travel, language, and the French nationality. So if you're interested in checking out those videos, please give my channel a look, and I will see you in the next one. À la prochaine. Ciao, ciao for now. So another one of the positivity, but it was not all funs. So another point, I talked a lot about